The Forgotten House. In the heart of a forgotten city, where fog clung to the cobblestone streets like secrets unwilling to be told, stood a house that time itself seemed to avoid. It was ancient, with cracked stone walls and windows that peered out like hollow eyes. Locals called it the House of Echoes. No one dared enter, but Amir did. He wasn't just any traveler. He was a historian obsessed with the past, especially the spiritual philosophies hidden in old architecture. When he heard about the house, he knew he had to see it for himself. Legend said the house was built by a man who claimed to have seen God, not as a vision, but as a reflection. Amir arrived at dusk. The wind howled like a wounded beast. As he stepped inside, the door creaked open on its own, revealing a dark hallway lined with mirrors. Each mirror showed something different. Some his childhood, some scenes from wars he'd never fought in, others faces he didn't recognize. Yet, one mirror stood apart. It was smaller than the rest, framed in gold, untouched by dust or age. On it, an inscription read, "Say, He is Allah the One." Surah Ikhlas, verse 1. As Amir whispered the verse aloud, the air grew cold. The other mirrors shattered one by one. In their place, shadows began to crawl across the walls. The shadows speak. A voice echoed through the halls, low and distorted. "You do not belong here." Amir spun around. There was no one behind him. Yet, the voice continued. "You seek knowledge, but you fear truth. You ask questions, but refuse answers. Why?" "I want to understand," Amir replied, trying to sound brave. "Then look into the mirror," the voice said. He obeyed. What he saw was not himself, but 1,000 versions of himself. Some were kind, some cruel. Some prayed 5 times a day, others mocked faith. Some loved humanity, others exploited it. Then, the reflections began to speak. You ignored your mother when she needed you. You lied to your friend to save face. You used God's name to feel superior. Each accusation hit like a hammer. Amir fell to his knees. He couldn't deny them. They were true. Suddenly, the golden mirror pulsed with light. A figure emerged, not human, not ghost, but something older. Something vast. It spoke without moving its lips. "I am not what you see. I am not what you imagine. I am what remains when all illusions fade." Amir trembled. "Who are you?" The figure smiled gently. "Call me what you wish. But know this, I am one." The test of the soul. The house changed again. The hall became a desert. Sandstorms howled. In front of Amir stood 3 doors. A sign above them read, "Choose wisely. One leads to truth. One leads to fear. One leads to denial." Amir hesitated. Then he chose the middle door, the one labeled, "Fear." Inside was darkness. And screams. Screams of people begging for mercy. Screams of those who had denied the obvious. Screams of those who worshipped lies. He ran out, slamming the door shut. He turned to the 3rd door, denial. Inside was nothing. Just silence. People sitting in a void, staring at nothing, pretending they weren't there. He backed away. Finally, he approached the 1st door, truth. This time, he didn't hesitate. Inside was light. Not blinding, but warm. Peaceful. In the center stood the same figure from the mirror, now smiling. "You passed," it said. "How?" Amir asked. "By facing yourself. The lesson of the One." The figure gestured, and the world shifted again. Amir stood outside the house, morning sun rising over the horizon. The house was gone. Only a small stone remained. On it, the last lines of Surah Ikhlas were carved. Allah as-Samad. Lam Yalid wa Lam Yulad. Wa Lam Yakun Lahu Kufuwan Ahad. He is Allah, the eternal refuge. He begets not, nor is he begotten. And none is comparable to him. The figure looked at Amir. This house exists only for those who question deeply. And only the honest survive. Amir tried to speak, but the figure raised a hand. You will forget most of this. But not the lesson. Then it vanished. Back to the world. Weeks passed. Amir returned home. His friends noticed something strange. He no longer argued about religion. He no longer judged others. He simply listened, smiled, helped. When asked what happened during his trip, he would only say, I saw myself. And in seeing myself, I saw the One. Years later, after Amir died peacefully in his sleep, a journal was found under his bed. On the last page, he wrote, There is only one. Not many gods. Not many truths. Only one. And he sees everything, even the parts we hide from ourselves. Moral/message. This story teaches the core message of Surah Ikhlas, that Allah is one, beyond comparison, beyond imagination, and beyond deception. True faith begins when we stop pretending and start facing ourselves honestly. Horror element. Supernatural house. Disturbing reflections. Doors of fear and denial. Attraction. Mysterious setting. Emotional journey. Deep philosophical themes. Moral. Self-reflection. Honesty before truth. The unity of God.